Hello, everyone. Welcome to WJLP. My name is Jackson, and today is the 19th of May, 2025. Got a little bit of weather today and tomorrow. Most of it's severe. It's what it's looking like according to the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center. But afterwards, going to be a pretty cool weekend, or rest of the week into the weekend. So let's go ahead and hop right into our current radar. Here's we have those storms. Go ahead, hide the lightning here. Storms across Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, all the way up into Iowa. There's a few tornado warned storms currently active as well. So we'll take a look at those. Over to the Storm Prediction Center. We have that moderate risk going on currently for those storms across Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Go ahead and look at here the moderate risk. Tornadoes in the hatched area staying west of the Mississippi. A little bit of wind from storms earlier today into the afternoon for North Georgia, Tennessee, Chattanooga, down to Columbia area, as well as some risk of hail. So a few cells popping up as some of that weather passed through the Mississippi, or I guess Tennessee River Valley overnight and this morning. So going on to tomorrow, this is the real risk for our area. We have an enhanced risk across central Mississippi, Alabama, including Chattanooga, out to Knoxville, and the southern half of Kentucky, and then back to the Mississippi River. Huntsville, Nashville in there, Bowling Green, Memphis, Jackson, probably Biloxi, stuff like that. So there is a 10% chance of tornadoes, with the probability of those tornadoes being EF2 or greater. Wind, wow, upgraded to 45% here. In the last, I guess it was about 12:30 today. Just kind of looking this for the first time. So, good chance of wind, risk of wind damage within that pink 45% area. It's kind of northern Alabama, kind of cut off in Nashville, but still over towards the east there of Tennessee and southeast Kentucky. So, and just kind of a general hail risk within that 15% area. That's kind of the broad area of the storm. So, most of the risk here looks like it's going to be wind as the storm system pushes through the southeast U.S. And on to day three, that system pushes out towards the east coast. So nothing really to worry about once this progresses through. Day 4 through 8, nothing really out on the radar. Is again, it's going to be some pretty cool, nice weather to end off this week. Go ahead, take a look at the radar. It's some of these tornado warm storms out here in the Midwest. Looking out of Springfield here in, what is this, Missouri? Springfield, Missouri. Duh. Got a little bit of a bow here. Tornado kind of embedded there. As we've got one warned storm there. Come down here to Fort. So it's right on top of the radar. So this will be interesting. Possibly a bow right on top of the radar. That's what it might be. We'll see if the radar sticks around with us. And then another one up here, which I was just noticing. You can see the form right there. And if I kind of step back a few instances here, you can really see how this cell, I mean, this whole cell, what is that in width? And if we go here, that's, I mean, 40 miles in width, diameter there. If we just step through, you can see the whole system rotating. Again, doesn't really start until here, but once it does, this kind of inflow at the back maybe is causing this entire system to rotate. Wow. I mean, you can see if we look at the velocity map here, you can see the red running away, green coming towards. Got pretty tight here. I mean, it's been continuing for a while there. Even all the way back till, was this 618? Central Time. So it's been rotating, keeps going, kind of tightens back up a little bit again, but that is a couple thousand feet up in the air. Yeah, 5,000 feet. So rotation's going to look a little looser. Let's go look over here. Yeah, still a good amount of rotation. That tornado warning has just been continued. So, again, this area here is more the storm that's been warned. I think more in the early afternoon. There was probably a few more storms rotating, possibly another one there or a little bit of a bow is probably seen here. Yeah, but a little bit disorganized as this one's leading out in front. Then you've got a few more. But this is the weather that we expect to come in tomorrow. So let's go ahead, hop back over to windy here. Come into the rain thunder. We're looking at the Euro here. We'll go ahead and play it. So those storms continue to progress further east. And then we get to about Tuesday morning here, some storms over Kentucky. Really, that front line is at the Mississippi now as it pushes through in the early afternoon. So this is 2 o'clock Central Time. We see those storms kind of well established there from central, Mississippi kind of up. And again, this is where we'll see the greatest threat with that 45% wind chance. Northern Alabama, Tennessee, a little bit in Kentucky. But it looks like moving out of here kind of by sunset, early evening times. So, and breaking up beyond that into the morning hours of Wednesday. So, again, this will find its way out, push itself off the coast. It looks like maybe a little bit further is some kind of warmer airs pulled in, but another trailing storm here for northern Alabama. This is again Thursday. Another little kind of blip there, but we see a good little high pressure kind of form here, form a little bit of a block. Pushing some storms south. Maybe rain into Friday. Potentially a storm here Saturday afternoon as well, but kind of staying nice here across Tennessee. Again, that high kind of establishes itself again before a few kind of rounds of weather into the weekend for kind of around the Mississippi, a little bit into the southeast U.S. before finally looks like pushing out here next Monday. Let's take a look at the wind. Let's show. I thought I had ice lines of pressure there. So low pushes through here. Actually, there we go. Rain map there splits off. This one kind of becomes a cutoff low. Really, both of them kind of do, as this high pressure is up here over Canada, but good little high nose there. Tries to stick around for a little bit, kind of fighting with the rain there. It's still got a little bit of a, negative tilt towards that high pressure, so might be able to stick around, but it looks like it's kind of degrading a little bit from what I've seen through the day today. So it looks like that high staying further north rather than where it was originally. So maybe not as nice of weather as I was kind of saying in the beginning, but it should be a little bit cooler. Take a look at the temperature here. So the storm pushes out Thursday into Wednesday, or Tuesday into Wednesday. And we got 75 Huntsville, 73, 66 in Louisville. Look here at Thursday, about 62, 66, 71. So there's definitely some cooler temperatures. 68 on Friday, 62 up in Louisville. Wow. Looking at Saturday, again, some rain here, so cooler temperatures 64, 64, 66, warming up a little bit more. And into next week's, again, some rain, so keeping those temperatures cooler. 59 in Louisville Monday, too. Wow. Maybe one last little cold blast before these 90s try and make their way back up. So, guess we can pop up the HRR. Actually, I'm going to switch to College DuPage here. Look at their HRR. So we got incomplete data set. We'll go ahead, look back at the 23Z. Tuesday, possibly some rotations here, a little bit of a latent rotation here early, or kind of late Tuesday. We see that pushing across. We see that kind of a little bit of QLCS forming. But just turns out to kind of be a bit of a bow echo. Pushing in, we don't have all the way, but this is 2 o'clock, or sorry, noon Tuesday. It looks like it's pretty scattered, maybe a bit of a confluence band here. HR doesn't have a sounding there, so that's all right. Yeah, just a little bit of like a leading edge here, possibly reaching out. Lunchtime tomorrow. We can look at, let's take a look at the wrap. Similar findings here. It looks like it's staying kind of north. Looks like this might be mostly rain. Let's kind of look in the Somerset area. We'll get to that as well. A few things I'm going to talk about with tornadoes on the 16th and 17th. Marginal severe, yeah, so it'll be kind of rainy. Really, not really passing through till late Tuesday. Take a look at Huntsville here. Tornado risk. Yeah, you got a bit of cape there. 24, almost 2,500. So that's all right. Let's take a look at the NAM. Ooh, interesting. The NAM's not really a believer. This is Wednesday 3Z, so was it Tuesday at 10 p.m.? Oh man, that's a real kind of split there on when they think this weather's coming through. PDS tornado. Okay. Wow. High E3. Okay. Fair enough. NAM's choosing violence. That's nuts. Okay, let's check Nashville. Just severe. How bizarre. Let's take a look at convective products here. Let's look at SIGTOR. Back again at that. Wow. 3Z, this again, 10 p.m. Tornado risk. But Huntsville's saying PDS. All right, fair enough. Guess we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. 6Z. This is 1 a.m. now. High SIGTOR. Whoa. 2400 cave. Mixed layer. 2500. Again, high PDS. It's not as nice as the 3Z reading, but choosing violence tomorrow, I guess. Gonna look at the surface. Let's just take a look at D point. Yeah, that's at 6Z, 70s dew points. So I don't know. Dam's taking a bit of an aggressive approach there. So guess we'll kind of keep an eye. Let's take a look at sounding here from the GFS. Cooler temperatures. What is kind of predicting marginal severe from the GFS? So I don't know. I've kind of lost a little bit of faith in the GFS. So, believe what you like. I think I'll kind of wait on the old GFS there. Actually, here's kind of the front. If any of it is 0Z, so this is it. What is that? 7 o'clock, weak tornado. So GFS doesn't even think a real threat. Or unless it's thinking it's coming way earlier. Let's take a look at this one. This is 12Z. Geez, 7 tomorrow. Don't think it's coming that early. Marginal severe. Yeah, no. I'm not sure what to believe with GFS. I'm not really going to look at it for the moment. So, anyway, that's kind of what we've got to look out for tomorrow. So, anywhere between some tornadic possibilities, wind definitely a factor as predicted here by the SPC. And I guess that's possibly a PDS if the NAM chooses violence like it has. So we'll keep an eye out tomorrow, and I'll update and possibly go live if any tornadoes touch down kind of around the Huntsville area tomorrow on Discord. I think that really covers it. So not able to get the WS4000 up. Some issues with the recent update to it. So not going to be able to get kind of like a general overview. So feel free to kind of stop back in the video, take a look at what the euro is saying for the future. Kind of unstable conditions across the Midwest, possibly impacting the Southeast. Decent weather, low 70s, possibly 60s for the Ohio River Valley this upcoming week. So thank you all for tuning in for the forecast. Gonna go ahead and switch it on over now to discussing some tornadoes, like the long track tornado, especially that kind of raced over the Missouri, a little bit of Illinois, and through Kentucky, causing a bit of devastation, mainly across the London and Somerset areas of southern and south central Kentucky. So, what is a very long track tornado? Well, this is a very long track tornado, but a long track tornado is usually any tornado that sticks around for longer than 25 miles. I guess this very long track tornado is over 50 miles and encased 100 miles. They're typically associated with violent EF4, EF5 tornadoes that form strong, long-lasting supercell thunderstorms. And so, one of the famous examples is the Tri-State Tornado of 1925, which just celebrated its 100-year anniversary a couple weeks ago, which traveled 219 miles across Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. And here we have the supercell that produced a tornado, at least multiple touchdowns. Not sure if it was continuous enough to say it was 219 miles because they're still out doing damage surveys, but the cell itself was rotating for nearly 600 miles here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of let this video play through. So first off, let me try and get the quality up here. You've got the reflectivity in the top left. You have the velocity in the top right. I believe that's correlation coefficient in the bottom left. And bottom right might be, let me take a look here. Differential phase, maybe? No. Maybe spectrum width? No. I'm not really sure. Differential reflectivity? Maybe differential reflectivity. Either way. Go ahead, let this play. Sorry for the quality. Twitter video. We see over Missouri here. It'll cross into Illinois just briefly before entering into Kentucky. We have some PDS warnings here in the purple boxes. Tornado, of course, in the red. And we see continues to track here across Bowling Green, Russell Springs into Somerset and into London, Kentucky. Continuing still going, and then it finally kind of dissipates and is absorbed in the main storm. So we see a little bit of a northeast direction before it heads straight east. Again, barely touches into Illinois. Over Kentucky, we have a great hook echo feature on this, so still kind of tracking with a very distinguishable signature. PDS warnings all the way through, all the way till the end before it dies out over kind of southeast Kentucky. Here's the evolution of Nancy Somerset London tornado here. So you see kind of that purple touching that red as it crosses over London. Or here's Russell Springs crossing through. We go to Nancy, Somerset just to the north, and finally reaching over London. So, damage survey is still out on the May 16th event here. What they can at least gather from it was EF3 strength over Missouri, EF1 over Lake Barley here, EF2 strength. What is this? Just kind of in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know. Well, tracked here, was it south enough? It looked like it was kind of following along Cumberland Parkway here once it reached Bowling Green. So eventually, definitely going to see some damage surveys, at least here, that need to be performed. Looks like it kind of petered out. I think I saw Vico or Vico, I'm not sure, but over Daniel Boone National Forest there. Here's a picture. I believe this is looking between London, Somerset and London. But I mean, you can see just the swath that this tornado was able to carve through in South Kentucky. EF3 flattened between Somerset and London is where the tornado is at its strongest. And another look here from radar. It's Somerset, London, clearly visible. Just that scar across the earth where it flattened those trees. So, kind of incredible to be able to see that on visible radar between the two cities. And I could probably go on a different video about the EF scale and how it's relates to damage. So if there's a tornado like this out in the forest, I know there's like debarking, trees completely debarked, but like if it's flattening trees, then I'm not sure how much you can really tell if a tree's been debarked if it's no longer standing anymore. It's kind of a difficult tell to really put a finger on. So, but I mean that was, what do we say, 600 miles. We look here again, tri-state tornado, March 1820 or 1925, covered. It says between 151 and 235 with the originally recognized path length of 219 over 3.5 hours for one tornadoes or a series. So even if the tornado picks up for a second, or I think it's, what is it, 2 minutes, 4 minutes? What does it say? I forget where it said that, but you can kind of classify it as multiple tornadoes. But I'll go ahead and look up here the tri-state tornado. You can see the path here across Missouri, southern Illinois, into Indiana. So, I mean, it looks like it's got to check off 3 boxes here. Start in Missouri, reach into Illinois, and that's kind of your pick of choosing if you finish in Kentucky or Indiana. But we see a tornado family here where it's talked about tri-state tornado, 2021 Western Kentucky tornado on December 10th, 2021 is the longest confirmed track of tornado. This violent tornado tracked 165 miles through the states of Tennessee and Kentucky during a very intense late season outbreak. Again, December 10th. Unbelievable. This was the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado that practically flattened the town. We see starting in Arkansas here through Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and eventually finishing up here in Ohio. So, yeah. Really, you only see these long track tornadoes in discrete supercells like the one you see here, where you kind of have that defined hook echo, really tracking all the way up. Again, back to the video here, you really see this hook echo forming, yeah, about there, and really tracking across. And I believe I even took a, let me pull up Discord here. I took a picture, posted it in Discord as well. But really just, I mean, devastating damage. I think 30 lives have been claimed from this tornado track alone. Maybe the storm in general, but definitely at least a few dozen affected, especially in the south central Kentucky area. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture here. Here's the, let's see if I can open a browser. Here's the Somerset tornado. I can only imagine that's town lighting illuminating that tornado, possibly lightning, but that's a pretty good grab there. Here's the out of the Fort Campbell radar. Good hook there. Another one here. You got that hook, and you see the rotation there, the blue on red rotating. So again, just really discrete supercells we see here. I mean, there's no other weather around it. It's by its own. It's able to take in that moisture and track as long as it likes. Really no interrupting inflow, outflow, anything like that. So I think I saw a stat where it was long track tornadoes make up, I think it was 0.5%, or maybe even 0.05% of all tornadoes, but cause 21% of the fatalities. So it's definitely, that's why whenever, National Weather Service kind of puts out a tornado warning here, EF2 through EF5, yes, the strength is devastating and can wreck local areas, but whenever they kind of say long track tornadoes, let's see, track, no track here, but in the description itself, they'll say long track tornadoes, and that's really something to look out for because, it'll track for 600 miles, and once it gets rolling, there's really no stopping it. So, again, 600 miles across Missouri, possibly Illinois, and especially Kentucky. So, nearly the entire length of the state. So, something very devastating to kind of remember back on. So, but that'll pretty much wrap up what I've got here. So, thank you all for tuning in. And I'll update in Discord in case any severe weather comes tomorrow. Possibly later in the week, depending on the instability in the Midwest. But if anything else, I will be back next Monday with the next weekly forecast. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all next week. Bye.